I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm not too broken up about Assata Shakur's passing because I find it very ironic. You pick an African name, you flee to a Latino country for asylum, but what the hell did you actually do for us? Assata Shakur was for self. Black Panthers were strictly about advancing anybody of Black American background. A lot of these Black Panthers were coked out and junkied and just out of their damn minds. If you're supposed to be for the liberation of blacks, it's not limited to just Black Americans. It should be all blacks, not just the ones in America. Y'all spend so much time screaming at Africans, Latinos, Asians, whatever. All of us that are Black in these ethnic backgrounds, you spend so much time screaming at us, y'all need to stand up and do this, that, and the third, and you glorifying somebody that tucked her tail and ran because y'all had no problem coming online all year talking about Latinos deserve everything that they're going through. Deport all of us, send us back to where we came from, but now Assata Shakur is being mentioned. Now all of a sudden it's Viva Cuba. You keep the fake love on your page. They also won't talk about the women of the Panther men who were in abusive relationships and were beat into being Black Panthers. They won't talk about that.
As a Black woman, came on here to bash another revolutionary Black woman who did more than I'm sure you ever have done.
Because I can talk about whatever I want to. I'm a Black woman. What you gonna do about it?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. Baby, they are tearing this woman up, okay? On social media, basically, she's a pretty popular influencer. She's known for not always, well, she's not a sheep. She's not a sheep. She doesn't hold her tongue. She says things that people are not always comfortable with. And sort of like what reminds me of me a little bit, you know, not being the sheep. And some people don't always want the truth. But she said something that has got a lot of Black people offended. Now, I actually talked about her on one of my shorts where she had a video saying that Black women stole baby hair, the style from Latino women, which is not true. And that got some Black people upset. Now, she is, from what I heard her say, she is Black American and Mexican or something like that. She says that she has Hispanic, I believe, Mexican ancestry. Then other Black people are saying, well, who the hell are you to say anything because you are not a Black American? Oh, you said you was half Asian. From what I know, she's Black American and Mexican. So basically, she said that Assata Shakur, we know that Assata Shakur passed away. She basically says that I'm not too broken up about her passing. What the F did she actually do for Black people besides talk? That is what she said. So they are having a little bit of a field day with her. They want to cancel her for this. So I'm going to share you the video clip of what she said. Some small, like 30-second video clips of her responses to people. Some of the comments. Who was Assata Shakur, okay, for those who are not familiar, and some uncomfortable things that you're not going to want to hear about, okay? So let's jump right on in. As many of you know, Assata Shakur recently passed away, okay? She recently passed away in Cuba. Now, she was a member of the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers, that was before my time, but most Black people in America and across the world are very familiar with who the Black Panthers were. Okay, so her daughter alerted the world to let them know that she passed away. Now, the woman said, oh, Assata didn't do anything. Baby, let's get into it now. Assata Shakur was also the godmother of Tupac. We know Tupac is Tupac Shakur. Okay, Tupac Shakur, and this is Assata Shakur. So that was his godmother. And look, she fled to Cuba. There was a $1 million reward. There was a bounty on her. Okay, now look, we know historically that there have been, when Black people get together, political groups. I know about the, I can't say certain words on here, but there was a very popular Black positive group. And I believe Philadelphia, I think they were in Philadelphia or Baltimore, and the building, the government dropped a you-know-what on the building. So look, Look, baby, the Black Panthers, they weren't doing anything bad within society at large that I know of. I'm not 100% sure, but they were on the government watch list. They were. And allegedly, they said that she took the life of an officer. She said she did not do that. And she had been injured in her arm and that she wasn't able to do that. And they were after her and found her to be a threat. There are people who believe she did, and there are people who believe she didn't. Nobody was there. Okay, so again, she was a part of the Black Panther Party, which was a group around the 1960s. Huey P. Newton was one of the founders, and this man, Bobby Seals, I believe was his name, also the other founder. So, okay, let's see what she had to say about the passing of Assata Shakur, which a lot of Black people were upset to hear about.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm not too broken up about Assata Shakur's passing because I find it very ironic. You pick an African name, you flee to a Latino country for asylum, but what the hell did you actually do for us? Assata Shakur was for self, much like a lot of those Black Panthers. That's why they were dismantled. You used the struggling and suffering of blacks to further your own movement. And before you get all pissed off, let me explain something to you. A lot of y'all that are black in this country, the Black Panthers, as radical and loud as y'all are, baby, you would not have been accepted. The Black Panther Party did not like anybody who was LGBTQ. They didn't care for anybody who was of a different background. Like, if you were not strictly Black American, they didn't give a fuck about you. So, like I said, and then she killed a police officer, and the movement she was, what was it called? The Black Liberation Army or whatever the fuck, broke in prison, took some people hostage, and, broke her out. She left in a van and all that shit, whatever. And then she fled to Cuba, but Fidel Castro granted her political asylum. And that's what I want to bring to attention. Now, you don't advocate for anybody black outside America, but the Latino countries are the only place you can go for asylum. You didn't go nowhere that was primarily black. You didn't go to Jamaica. You didn't go to, you didn't go to Africa. Why the hell did you pick Cuba? Because if you can't go nowhere else on this earth, Latinos will protect you. So at the end of the day, it's sad she passed, but it don't affect me in no way, shape, or form. And I don't give a fuck what you have to say. Again, just because I'm black, nah. Black Panther Party really didn't do shit for us either besides give underprivileged blacks the WIC program.
Baby, they are after her in those comments. Okay, and this is the first time I've watched the whole video. There's nothing wrong if they were advocating for Black American people, being that they are Black American, and being Black American during the 60s and earlier. Our people are the main people being persecuted in America. Even now, how often do you see a Latino, a Afro-Latino, as some of you like to say, on the news that's been targeted by a police officer if they are actually innocent? Okay? Now, look, I'm sure they would have loved her. I mean, I don't know everything, but so what if they were advocating for Black American liberation? Okay? That is their people. So how can you tell somebody who they can and cannot advocate for? Black people in America can't free other Black people in different countries during that time. So what if they wanted to dedicate a program to help uplift their people? It's this thing I see on TikTok where people honestly think that Black people are supposed to be the voice and the savior for everybody around the world. And not focus, Black people now wanting to focus on building Black people is triggering some people. I don't think, I'm just saying, I don't see the big deal about that. I'm pretty sure they didn't like to see other Black people going through stuff in different countries if they knew about it, type of thing. So you heard what she just said. Y'all heard what she just said. Okay. Now here's the thing. Baby, I ain't gonna say nothing. Just keep watching this video. Just keep watching. Now I'm gonna play you some clips of responses that she made to other people, okay? Very short clips. Listen, okay? Because there were people who were saying, you ain't even Black American fully. Who are you to say something? You know this was gonna trigger Black people. She knows that. Okay, so let's see the responses, her responses to some stuff.
This is for the Bonnet Boss and the Bonnet Boss only. If you ain't the Bonnet Boss, this message is not for you. But if you do have the same views as Shorty, you should stay. This is why we say as Black Americans that Black American history is so important. The fact that you have such a large platform that you do, and as a Black woman, came on here to bash another revolutionary Black woman who did more than I'm sure you ever have done for the Black community. The audacity of you to fix your mouth and come in front of the camera to talk bad about Assata Shakur, baby. Your mother or your father need to sit you down and teach you a real history lesson, and maybe they need to learn one too. I was just talking to my friend yesterday about how we should celebrate more Black Americans' birthdays and passings in Black culture, and here you go.
Because I can talk about whatever I want to. I'm a Black woman.
Okay, someone says, why are you even talking about Black American issues?
What you gonna do about it? Because I can talk about whatever I want to. I'm a Black woman. What you gonna do about it? Exactly nothing besides type. We not finna start this again. I'm gonna talk about whatever I want to, and it ain't nothing you can or will do about it, so keep scrolling. Y'all bitches are still screaming and hollering in my comment section. Talk about the crash out that happened amongst the Panthers before they were dismantled. Y'all ain't gonna talk about that. You don't want to talk about the fact that the Panthers did and sold the same drugs that they tried to say the government was using to poison our communities. They had a hand in selling the shit back to our communities and doing them. I'm not following nobody that was drugged out and junkied out the whole damn time. You want to talk about the beginning stages of the Panthers. No, talk about it beginning to end. The crash out that happened when they started turning on each other. That's how the government was able to come in and dismantle them so easy. They lost sight of what's important. Ego got involved. Money was involved. Drugs were involved. Why the hell y'all don't want to talk about that? I said it before and I'll say it again. The Black Panther Party was a hot ass mess. Then again, it's the same group of people that say they agree with Candace Owens but want to come here and call me the raccoon, want to call me Sambo. But you agree with Candace Owens. That's why I said I don't take these motherfuckers seriously at all. The only ones that's irritated and aggravated are the stupid ass motherfuckers that literally are the epitome of every stereotype towards Black people. That you don't read, that you don't educate yourself because you come on here, log in before you even wash your ass and argue with me. Get the phone. I will never take none of you hoes seriously. I'm going to speak slowly and enunciate because
Okay, so she's saying that Black people are bigging up Cuba for bringing in Assata Shakur, but then crapping on Latinos just a few months ago, okay?
because I don't want to mince words and I don't want no confusion about what I have to say next. We have a lot of patience and a long memory. We watched y'all yell for 9 months for Cubans. You spat all over Cuban history because you were pissed off about the election, as if Cubans were the only ones that voted for him. You spat all over Cuban. You blame every Cuban on this planet, walking this planet, for what the ones in Miami did during the election. And now we're supposed to forget that because something happened and it's beneficial to you. In your mind, no other way. As I stated, if you familiarize yourself with Castro and his history with Cubans, you'd understand why I said that doesn't move me. At any rate, you can, and even still, I didn't celebrate that she died. I said it doesn't affect me. I'm not moved by it. So the fact that you're pissed off, I really don't give a fuck about that either. I'm not taking back anything I said because I didn't say anything wrong. The madder you get, the more I really don't care, because at the end of the day, y'all have drugged Cubans every single day. But now because of Assata, now you fascinated with Cuban culture. Now it's big ups to Cuba and all that. But you've been saying fuck Cuba all month, all year. Part 2. The Black Panthers were strictly about advancing anybody of Black American background. They did not give a fuck about Black Caribbeans, Black Latinos, Black...
What, you know what? Look, I know I'm interrupting this video. Since when the F has Africa gave a damn about Black Americans? All of a sudden, when Black people are getting pride and want to help Black people, and no, you don't have to crap on other Black people around the world. So effing what? Did Africa ever try to give us a program and give us some money in reparations and apologize in large numbers? No, they didn't. So please, with this crap. I have noticed people getting in a tizzy because Black people getting their flag, representing their heritage. And no, I'm not xenophobic or against other Black people. Y'all know this already. But I'm just saying, when in history have Black people outside of America ever decided to try to fight for Black Americans? I'm talking in the past during the 60s and stuff and all of that stuff and giving programs. It's not like they were marching around saying F people who ain't Black American that I know of. Okay?
Black Panthers were strictly about advancing anybody of Black American background. They did not give a fuck about Black Caribbeans, Black Latinos, Black Asians, Black nothing. No, I don't give a fuck about the Black Panther Party or anything associated with it. I do love Tupac. I'm forever a fan, but Tupac was not a Panther. His mother was. Now, Tupac's message was a lot more educated, a lot more clear, and a lot more feasible, a lot more followable, if followable is a word. If it's not, I'm going to make it a word. But at the end of the day, Tupac actually took the time to study, learn, and correct the wrongdoings of these Panthers. Like I said, a lot of these Black Panthers were coked out and junkied and just out of their damn minds. If you're going to make a movement furthering Blacks, it needs to be all Blacks, not just the ones in America. And
we don't have to do shit we don't want to do. To keep it real with you, I don't have to do a damn thing for nobody if I don't feel like it. Do you see other groups focusing on Black people in Africa and all of that? No, you don't. We don't have to do, I'm just speaking for myself. If any kind of program or anything I want to do, it will be for who I want it to be with. You don't get to tell me who to give a F about. You don't get to tell me who I need to free. I live in America. I cannot help Black people in England and Latin America and in Africa who don't really give a damn about us on average. To keep it real with you, the only reason they even claim they're Black today is because of Black Americans. They would not even want to be called Black damn near 10 to 15 years ago. That wasn't even common. And some of them still don't. They have Black pride and identify as Afro-Latina now, and I'm Black and all across the place because of Black Americans. Okay, Black Americans are not the mommy and daddy of everybody, even though Black people influence Black people globally. Okay, it is okay to want to do something for your own tribe of people. Okay, because a lot of Black people outside of America say we identify with our tribe and this our people and our tribe and stuff all over the place. Okay. Black people, if Black people want to do things to help people of their ancestry and tribe and lineage to be better and to build up their race, and so many people think the Black race ain't shit around the globe, they can do that. You don't get to tell people who to care about and who to help. Black American people are not responsible for everybody Black around the globe. And yes, there are a lot of Pan-African people who push it, and it has not been successful. It is time for Black men and women of America to get their shit together as a group and build up the damn race. And you do not have to talk about or worry about everybody else's ass outside of America, in my opinion. That don't mean you can't be friends and build and by giving money with tourism and bigging them up and stuff. But you do not have to butt kiss and be the mommy and daddy of everybody else. Okay, we live in America. It's time for Black America to get it together and stop always making these videos and Instagram posts, always talking about somebody else outside of America. They can't help you. They ain't never been able to help you, and they don't care to help you at large. It's time for Black America to help itself and get their stuff together and be a great nation. Because half these other Black people in other countries, I'm sorry, some of them love you. Yes, I said that in the video. But there's also a number who don't and who think that you can't get it together. It's time for Black Americans to get it together by building with Black America. You can have allies, like I said, and be friends with other groups of people, but you don't have to save them all. I'm just saying, this is how I feel. Black people need to get it together in America. And then you can go and do all that stuff with other people. And not only that, but is it going to be reciprocated? Or is it always the Black people, Michael Jackson, we are the world, that got to save people, but no one comes to give us shelter and free scholarships and reparations and land on average? I just don't like people talking about you supposed to. People even do that on my channel. You don't tell me what to do in my house. You don't tell me who I got to love, who I got to like, and who I got to support. If I wanted to start a movement right now for only Black American women, I could do that, and you ain't gonna tell me shit, because I can do it. It's my stuff. Go do your own thing. I can care about my group of women and helping my women, just like them tribal Africans from East to West Africa do. And I can do it without not liking, disrespecting or not liking other groups. I can be respectful and be their friend and all that other stuff. The audacity of people.
Don't need to be on some coked up, junkied out rants about how Blacks need to do this and Blacks need to do that. Shit was just it was a movement that was all over the fucking place, and I just can't support no shit like that. Tupac, I love forever, but Assata and the rest of them, I don't give a fuck. And before you cry babies get in my comments getting mad, how can you say that? How can you say that? How the hell can you preach Black liberation only limited to certain Blacks, and you preaching don't trust the government, resist the government, yet you ingesting the drugs they give you? That shit didn't make no damn sense.
Now, I'm not saying she's not right in some areas, baby. I'm exposing some things on this video as to why I actually don't completely support the Black Panthers either. To be real with you, just keep watching, baby. Just keep watching.
Since they deleted my comment, number one, go cry on somebody else's page, because I promise you, I do not care about y'all personal feelings. Second of all, I don't respect nobody that tuck their tail and run. If you supposed to be for the liberation of Blacks, it's not limited to just Black Americans. It should be all Blacks, not just the ones in America. Second of all, you don't tuck your tail and run. If you stand up for us and you do what you do in the process, you take whatever come with it. You don't tuck your tail and run because you don't want to be held responsible for what you did. Y'all spend so much time screaming at Africans, Latinos, Asians, whatever. All of us that are Black in these ethnic backgrounds, you spend so much time screaming at us, y'all need to stand up and do this, that, and the third, and you glorifying somebody that tucked her tail and ran because she didn't want to be held responsible for what she did. Go cry on somebody else's page. I don't care. And if I need to slow it down and pinpoint what my point is, you like us, you don't care that we Black.
Okay, this person says Assata Shakur, she didn't go to Africa because Africa was going to surrender her to the U.S. And thank God Cuba said, no, not here. She can come here.
You like any of us in the Latin community as long as you benefit from it. If you don't benefit from it, y'all had no problem coming online all year talking about Latinos deserve everything that they're going through. Deport all of us. Send us back to where we came from. But now Assata Shakur is being mentioned. Now all of a sudden it's Viva Cuba. You keep the fake love on your page. Because like I said, at the end of the day, if it don't benefit you, you don't like us. I told you, I'm going to challenge everything you got to say. The only person intelligent enough to go back and forth with me and probably win is my twin sister. And ain't neither one of y'all her. So you ain't never going to win arguing with me. When you going to learn? Yes, baby doll. They so busy screaming at me in my comment section. They're not understanding. We know the truth. They want us to support the same Panther. All of these Panthers in America the majority of them, I won't say all, but the majority of them had a drug dependency issue. And they had a hand in selling drugs. Okay, so they're supposed to be martyrs for the community, turning around, selling the same poison to our people and their people, while coming up saying that they for black liberation and this and that. They just mad they can't lie to me. That's why they screaming for their life in my comment section. I'm not falling for it. Not falling for it. But yeah, baby, they didn't like us like that. They also won't talk about the women of the Panther men who were in abusive relationships and were beat into being Black Panthers. They won't talk about that. They won't talk about that because that doesn't fit the narrative. See, I told you, I'm here to teach. I don't care who's screaming and crying in my comment section. The truth always frees itself. I want you to look up BG Knockout. When those substances were placed on California train tracks, BG Knockout confirmed it, along with other OGs in the game. Now, this was way after the Panthers had been dismantled. They had tried it before, waited about 10 years or so, 7 to 10 years, and put it back on the same tracks. The Panthers had a part in the drug trade and the drug problem in the black community.
I totally believe it. Because every time black people talk about, was it Nixon or Reagan or whatever? I think it was Reagan. Oh, he brung crack in the neighborhood. I'm like, but black men were selling drugs to black people. And this is not just the Black Panthers. Black men sold crack to black women and men and effed up the black community. This is facts. So I'm not against her saying this at all. I'm not against her saying this at all because she's telling the truth. That my thing is, though, Assata Shakur, I mean, I'll read more about her, okay? I'm going to say some things so you learn more about her. And the Black Panthers did have some stuff going on, and they had bad and a sprinkle of good. I'm going to show it. Let's just keep seeing this a little bit.
Because a lot of them were on it and they got their friends on it, and then it just trickled on down. That's why you had so many black mothers who were Black Panthers on drugs. They don't want to talk about it. Ask your daddy, because I guarantee you he's one of the ones in my DM asking me to.
They said, so what are you doing for self? Okay, like what are you doing diet wise? Okay, they're coming for her weight now.
Sit it on them every night. Ask your daddy, because I guarantee you he's one of the ones in my DM asking me to sit it on him every night. Ask your daddy, honey. Just because I'm not flat as a board don't mean you need to comment about my diet. I'm not going to apologize for eating.
Okay, so here are some of the comments that was under her first video going in. Okay, it says, okay, someone said, if she had fled to Jamaica, the CIA would have took her life. Do you understand geopolitics? Plus, Cuba has a very significant black Cuban population. She described herself as an African and converted to a life in Cuba. Read more. Shut your black A up. You are not foundational black American. Your family abandoned their homeland to flee to the U.S. because they refuse to stay and fight for opportunities in their land. Okay, now again, I believe she says she's Black American and Mexican. Someone said, oh no, she's Haitian and Mexican. I don't know, but I think she's a half Black American. Okay, saying the Black Panthers and Assata Shakur didn't do anything for black people globally is super insulting. How exactly were they supposed to liberate people in other countries when they were fighting just to survive here in the U.S.? Their focus was on feeding hungry kids, running free clinics, and teaching political education. Just basic survival for black communities the government ignored. You can't free the world if you can't even keep your own people alive. Despite all of that, their ideas and example did inspire movements abroad. You are putting your ignorance on full display. The Black Panthers started free lunch for children in this country, free meals for the elderly, the sick, sickle cell testing, free medical clinics, housing initiatives, and clothing drives. You should look into Fidel Castro's relationship with Black Americans. Okay? Sister Assata, along with the Panthers, have done a lot to raise consciousness and radicalism in the global African communities across the globe, in addition to feeding and clothing many Africans who needed it. And the reason she went to Cuba for asylum was because it was the closest country with no extradition laws. Also, when you made the claim that black radicals like Assata and the Panthers didn't do anything, ask yourself this: if their legacy wasn't that important, why did the FBI work so tirelessly to target them? Ooh. Jamaica had an extradition treaty with the U.S. in the 1970s. How would she get to Africa? Fidel Castro offered her asylum to black liberation activists and revolutionaries and political descendants of the U.S. Mainly, it aligned with Cuba's support for global struggles against the U.S. influence and systemic oppression. Lastly, black Americans' fight was against white supremacy, systemic oppression, and political brutality in the U.S. Their focus was all on people of African descent who were subject to racism in the U.S., not just the U.S. Okay, the Black Panther Party, one of the most legendary groups in America. Okay, and they wanted to, again, educate black people, protect black neighborhoods. My thing is, though, from my research, they mainly said also that they wanted to protect black people against the police. And look, I don't know how bad crime was, black on black crime back then, but even today, and look, I'm just going to keep it real. Black men in America, can you please protect black women, men, and children from black men? Because y'all the ones taking each other off the planet more than white people do these last couple of decades. Can you please create a party where you actually police black neighborhoods and keep us safe from you? I would greatly appreciate that, and so would other black people. Okay, so the Black Panther Party. So, okay, she said what she said. I did some more research, even though I knew some things. Yes, they did some good things, but look, we got to keep it real here. Okay, so it says that multiple credible sources confirm that women in the Black Panther Party experienced sexism, SA, and physical abuse from the men. This mistreatment occurred despite the fact that the women made up the majority of the party membership in the 1970s and were crucial to its operations, as that's usually the case. Black women riding for black men, giving them their money, sounds familiar, and getting crapped on. SA and harassment. Women in the party were subjected to SA violence, harassment by the men, including the leaders. In one instance, Elaine Brown, a leader, recalled that Huey P. Newton, the founder, permitted male members to beat, I repeat, to beat a female administrator after she reprimanded a male co-worker, leading her to leave the organization. Okay, so basically, Huey P. Newton, the founder, he let the men, the black men, beat up a black woman leader in the group because she reprimanded another black man within the organization who did something he wasn't supposed to do. So he said, go beat her, and they beat her. Okay? The Black Panthers, y'all keep uplifting. Okay. It says physical violence. Former members, including Elaine Brown, detailed experiences with physical violence from the men in the Panthers. She says that, sometimes brutal abuse was forced on the women. My God. Reinforced gender roles. Despite the Black Panthers' revolutionary image, women were regulated to traditional roles, performing clerical work, cooking for free, the free breakfast program for the children. This limited their roles and diminished their significant contributions to the movement, because at the end of the day, like I told you in a previous video, black men are not joining with women. They operate and want to be seen and want to have respect as men. And most masculine traditional men, you giving money, yes, you're a part of the movement, but you're still a woman. They don't want you ruling over them. And if they had made that clear, you can either decide to stay in it or stay out. They're like, no, you do office work, cook for the children. You are a woman. Know your role. We're not for that gender roles confusion stuff. But I guess they felt like, well, it's our money. We're the majority of this group. But the men the Huey P. Newton founded it. And at the end of the day, men, no matter what, they want to rule over women. And this is what black women have to understand. You're never going to get them to see you as the same as them, because you're not. My thing is, if they had made it clear from the beginning, which they probably didn't because they wanted their resources and their money. I don't know. Okay, abuse of power. In some chapters, the men leaders use their authority to punish or intimidate the women members, issuing issuing unapproved transfers to sideline women from gaining power and creating a culture of harmful behavior with no repercussions. Okay, the sexism, gotta be careful what I say, women experiencing within the party was an internal manifestation of the gender-based discrimination they already faced in broader society, aka, well, I get treated by white people a certain way. My brother, why are you treating me this way? Because they still see you as the patriarchy thing. Black men are not getting rid of the patriarchy, baby, not ever in life as I speak. They want the power, they want rulership, and in most societies, that's a patriarchy. That's how it goes. They don't want a matriarchy. They says this has been a disaster having that. So they're like, what do you mean? I'm already being treated bad by other groups for being a black woman. Now you're doing this to me? Okay, for black women, being a member of the Black Panther Party meant confronting this, not only from fellow Panthers, but racism and sexism from other people. Scholars note that the male-centered focus of the Black Panther Party left little space. Okay, that's a little space. Okay, that is all for that, what they went through, basically, that they still literally put hands on them, beat them, and other things, okay? And this is always going to be the case. So before I continue, baby, I want you to check out this. If you love a good rosé, some good wine, I absolutely love to see this. This is a beautiful couple that started their wine company, BoydCrewWines.com. You see it on the screen. A few of their wines have sold out, but there are about 3 or 4 that's still available. They have the white wine, red wine, a rosé, and more. And they actually have wine tasting events in their area. Go to their website. You might live in the area that they're in. I believe they're in Maryland. I think they're in Maryland. Just double check. Go to their website, www.BoydCrewWines.com, where you can order some delicious wine. I love to see it. So now let's get more into it. Okay, here's a little bit more as to why I don't fully respect the Black Panthers. The fact that they will let Eldridge Cleaver even become a member. The fact that this woman, his wife, would marry this disgusting beast is absolutely insane to me. This man, with the history that he has, should have never been allowed to even represent this party. Okay, and Kathleen, girl, you should be ashamed for marrying this man. Okay, now, listen, you know why I'm saying that? He has a book called Soul on Ice, and what's in it is diabolical. This man raped black girls and white girls, and he started off raping black girls as practice. Baby, why would you marry a black man that would hurt women, that would hurt girls, no matter what their race is? And, some of y'all are so pro-black and prejudiced that you don't even care about white women being violated like that, which is disgusting because we're women. But he actually practiced on young black girls first. How could you sleep next to a man like this who would do that to your fellow black women? You must be out your damn mind. Okay, so this is some of what he said. He said in the book that it was politically motivated, raping these white girls because of the white man's law. Basically, he felt so weak as a black man in his position that he felt, well, let me go rape some white women. Since you rape black women on the plantation, I want to go rape some of them. This is a statement. Okay, he says that he admitted to practicing first on black women in the ghetto, targeting his own race of women first for practice on how to do the rape properly. And then he started getting white women after black women. Okay, on Soul on Ice, he also said that he renounced this later in life and condemned his grapes. Okay, so he felt guilty about it later in life. It's too late, baby. You already did the graping. Imagine what they went through for the rest of their lives, being physically violated like that. I know that he said, as I know that the white man made the black woman the symbol of slavery and the white woman the symbol of freedom. Every time I'm embracing a black woman, I am embracing slavery. And when I put my arms around a white woman, I am hugging freedom. Basically, you're insecure. You are mad as hell about your history, and you look down on the black woman because you come from the women who were servants, and you see the white woman as freedom because she's from the dominant ruling class. So then you decide, well, let me start abusing and graping my women. Then I can go to the white woman. You are disgusting. I don't give a damn how bad he felt about it later in life. Disgusting. You are jealous of white men. You are weak. You are intimidated, and you don't know what to do with yourself. And that's the case even in 2025, all that anger and blaming people all the time for stuff because you're mad about who you are, your history, and your position within society. Okay, so let's see. Hold on. He said more, baby. He said more. He said, this is in his book. This is the Black Panther member. I love white women and I hate black women. It's just in me. So deep, I don't even try to get it out of my system. I'd jump over 10 nigger bitches just to get one white woman. Ain't no such thing as an ugly white woman. A white woman is beautiful even if she's bald-headed with only one tooth. It's not just the fact that she's a woman that I love. I love her skin. Her soft, smooth, white skin. I just want to lick her white skin. It's so sweet. Fresh honey flows from her pores. And just to touch her long, silky hair. There's a softness about a white woman, something delicate and soft inside of her. But a nigger bee, he's calling black women an igger with an ER, like a KKK member. An igger bee, you know what I'm saying, seems to be full of steel. Granted, hard and resisting. Ironically, you joined a group based on that, funded by the same group of women to help your black ass become feeling like you're strong and a leader that you resent. They hate how y'all act so strong because it reminds him of his weakness. He wants the soft white woman. Okay, she's delicate, he says. She didn't have to work and serve. That's what her white man made sure didn't happen to her. You didn't do that. Okay, he says, ain't nothing more beautiful than a white woman's hair being blown in the wind. The white woman is more than a woman to me. She's like a goddess, a symbol. My love for her is religious and beyond fulfillment. I worship her. I love a white woman's dirty drawers. Oh my God, baby. But I'm happy I'm happy he revealed something that a lot of black women know. And now they've reversed it and they're saying it's because you don't do this, black woman. You don't do that. You don't do this. Baby, no. What he just said is how some of them deeply feel, but they are never going to publicly say it in 2025, some of them. Okay. Sometimes I think the way I feel about white women, I must have inherited this from my father and my father's father and his father. As far back as you can go into slavery, I must have gotten this from the black men, my desire for the white woman, because I have more love for her than one man should have. Yes, I want all the white women that they want, but we're never able to get. Did I not just go over this in my most recent video? Y'all better go watch it. Okay, what that black man said. Okay. They passed on their desire to me. They must have. Desire for the white woman is like a cancer, eating my heart out and devouring my brain. In my dreams, I see a white woman jumping over a fence like a dainty little lamb, and every time one of them jumps over her, her hair just catches the breeze and splays out behind her like a man on a palmino stallion. Blondes, redheads, brunettes, strawberry blondes, dirty blondes, drugstore blondes, platinum blondes, all of them, damn it. They are the things in my nightmares. Does this sound like I'm making it up, young blood? So, you saw what he said in his book about white women. that he doesn't care if they coochie stink. He don't care if she bald headed with one tooth. He got to have that white woman. So is it ironic that he got the lightest black woman he could find to marry, and her sick ass married a black man? Because at the end of the day, she's a black woman to me. She still is. Okay. But he made sure to get the lightest one he could find because he hates the shit out of black women who have more melanin. He doesn't want to see that. So when he tried to be black and join the Black Panthers, he's like, well, shit, I just can't do it all the way. I can deal with her. I can still deal with her type of thing. And my thing is, how could you be with a black man reading something like that? Because she's not a white woman. Okay. At the end of the day, she's not white. How could you be with your husband knowing that he said something like that? You think he didn't still feel that? And how could you be with him knowing that he said he literally targeted black women in the ghetto and raped them? Are you serious? And then moved on to grape the white women because he had to get that out of his system, since he says in his book he's obsessed with them. He got, so my goodness gracious. My goodness gracious. And this was one of the Black Panther leaders, or well known within it. And I'm supposed to be respecting this damn group all the way. You must have lost your damn mind. Okay, so this is something good that the Black Panthers did do. The WIC program, they said, is not directly a Black Panther Party initiative, but it did pioneer the breakfast program in the 1960s and 70s. It inspired the federal government to create and expand food assistance programs like WIC. For women, infants, and children, the Black Panther leaders recognized the link between childhood hunger and educational outcomes. So they established the free breakfast program, and it was very successful, and also paving the way for other nutrition assistance programs such as WIC. Okay. It says also, let's get more into it. The Black Panther Party, it says the free breakfast program was in 1969. They launched the free breakfast program for children in Oakland, California. Okay. They wanted them to be able to focus in school. It was very successful, feeding thousands of children, demonstrating a connection between food security and educational success. And the government also took notice of this, and it became widespread. All right. Let's see. The government took notice again. The success of the program, and then it expanded to the national school breakfast programs that you see. The legacy, this work led by the Black Panther Party and other political activists, Black Panther activists, and community leaders laid the groundwork for the establishment and expansion of important nutrition assistance programs today, again, such as WIC. Now, this man who works for, I believe, the FBI director, he's Indian, Kash Patel. He says not to celebrate Assata Shakur passing away, not to celebrate her because she took the life of a police officer. So, Assata did pass away again in Cuba. She was safe there. And she said that she did not take the life of that police officer. That's what she said, even though she was involved in the shootout and everything, that she didn't do that to him. So she ended up fleeing. So let's see a little bit more about Assata real quick. Okay, she was born in 1947. And she recently passed away. She was a political activist, revolutionary, and a member of the Black Panther Party. In 1977, she was convicted of first-degree murder of a New Jersey state trooper when they had the shootout in New Jersey in 1973. She escaped prison in 1979. The FBI was after her. They had a $1 million reward for any information to capture her. Okay. It says that she was born in Flushing, Queens. She grew up in New York and Wilmington, North Carolina. She ran away from home several times and was taken in by her aunt, who acted as one of her lawyers. She became involved in political activism when she was in community college in New York. When she graduated, she adopted the name Assata Shakur and joined the Black Panther Party briefly, becoming a member. Okay. It says that between 1971 and 1973, she was charged with several crimes, leading to a multi-state manhunt for her. In 1973, her and other Black Panther members were stopped by the police in New Jersey, the New Jersey Turnpike. It escalated, and there was a shootout again with the state troopers. And hold on, let's see. Werner Forster and James Harper. Forster was murdered. Well, he passed away. He was murdered, and the other cop was wounded. Zayed Shakur was also his life was taken. Assata Shakur and another person were wounded. After her 1977 trial, she was convicted of multiple charges, including murder of the police officer, and was sentenced to life in prison plus 26 years to 33 years. Okay, she maintained that she couldn't have done it because she was injured in her arm and she did not do that to him. Okay. So it says that while serving her sentence at the Clinton Correctional Facility and the Women's Facility in New Jersey, she escaped in 1979 with the assistance of a Black Panther. And it says that May 19th, this communist organization also helped her when she escaped. She was granted political asylum in Cuba in 1984, where she remained most of her life, all of her life, really. Okay. And the government wanted her back, of course. In 2013, the FBI added her to the most wanted terrorist list under Joanne Deborah. Okay. Making her the first woman to be listed. All right. It says that after attending CCNY, she had moved to Oakland. She basically, again, she had joined the Black Panther Party, a chapter in Harlem, the Free Breakfast for Children program and clinics, and she left the party because she disliked the macho behavior of the men and believed that the Black Panther members and leaders lacked knowledge about understanding American Black history. She joined the Black Liberation Party, an offshoot whose members were inspired by the Viet Cong and Algerian independence fighters of the Battle of Algiers. This campaign, all this other stuff. Okay, so let's go through that. Almost done. She started using the name Assata Ugaba Shakur in 1971. She said her real name, Joanne Chesmard, was a slave name. She adopted the West African name from Aisha or something. Said that it means she who struggles. And it means the thankful one in Arabic. Ulabuga something, Alagaba, I know I'm saying it wrong, means savior in Yoruba. She identified as an African and felt her old name no longer fit. She said it sounded strange to me when people called me Joanne. It really had nothing to do with me. I didn't feel like a Joanne or a Negro or American. I felt like an African woman. This is so interesting because people who identify as being FBA they don't want to be identified as African and they're mourning her, but she didn't want to be identified as Negro or American. She said, I felt like an African woman. That's what she said. In 1971, she was shot in the stomach during a struggle at the Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan. According to the police, she knocked on the door of a guest room and said, is there a party going on here? Then displayed her revolver and demanded money. In 1987, she confirmed to a journalist that there was a drug connection in this incident, but refused to go into detail about it. All right. She was booked on charges of attempted robbery, assault, reckless endangerment, and possession of a deadly weapon, and released on bail. She is alleged to have said she was glad that she had been shot in the stomach and was no longer afraid to be shot again. My goodness. Following an August 1971 bank robbery in Queens, she was sought for questioning. A photograph of a woman who was alleged to be her, basically they thought it was her, was being displayed in banks. The New York City Clearinghouse Association paid for a full-page ad displaying material about her. Okay, it says in 1971, in December, she was named as New York City Police Department by them as one of the 4 suspects in a grenade attack that destroyed a police car and injured 2 officers in Queens. When the witnesses identified her and Andrew Jackson from the FBI photograph, photographs. A 13-state alarm was issued days after the attack. Law enforcement officials in Atlanta, Georgia, said that she and Jackson had lived together for several months in Atlanta. She was wanted for questioning and wounding a police officer on January 26, 1972, attempting to serve a traffic summons to her in Brooklyn. After an $89,000 Brooklyn bank robbery in 1972, Daily News headline asks, who was that, Joanne? Shakur was identified and wanted for questioning. So basically, she was allegedly, I guess, I don't even know if I can say allegedly, involved in all these bank robberies and stuff. Okay, it says that she was, in 1972, she became the subject of a nationwide manhunt by the FBI, okay, and that she was leading a Black Liberation Army cell and all this other stuff with a series of cold-blooded murders of police officers. I just don't get Black people who are obsessed with police officers. Why don't you focus on building up the Black race? Build up the Black race. Marry the mother of your children. Create a happy home. Have education. Go to school. Get a good job. Or start a successful business. I mean, okay. So this was all going down. Okay. All this stuff, I didn't even see all of this. Basically, this is a bunch of crime and all types of stuff. She was, allegedly involved in, became a fugitive and everything. So someone said that years later, some police officers said that she was important and that it was exaggerated by the police. One officer said that they created a myth to demonize her so that she, because she was educated, young, and pretty. And I can believe that as well. I can believe multiple things are true. Okay, she was wanted for questioning again. She was reported as one of 6 and a suspect of an ambush of 4 policemen in Jamaica, Queens. This was in 1973. My goodness. All this stuff they're saying. Okay, she was, again, a burglary that happened in 1981. 2 men were charged with the murder of an officer and attempted murder. Okay. So again, they put her on the wanted list as terrorist and all this other stuff. So, I don't even have to actually go through all of this. Y'all pretty much know what it is. I'm skimming through real quick. Anything I think really has to be highlighted. Anything more? Okay, so, all right. Let's see. There were people in the BLA who took the position that it was just time to resist if Black people didn't start to fight back against police brutality and didn't start to wage armed resistance. Yeah, you're really going to beat the government that completely outnumbers you. Completely outnumbers you. I'm telling you, what I've seen so much, Black people never have a true organized plan at all. In my opinion, even today, always going on and on and on about the past. If you was Moors, if you was Hebrew Israelites, if you Native American, instead of focusing on how to build the Black race in 2025 and what's the future, without hating anyone, really. You can protect yourself. You can start programs to police your neighborhood against crime, usually by Black men against us and some Black women, a few of them. Have your kids do better within the society. We need to learn how to live in modern society, even though a number of us do. Okay, I already told you how I think it's going to go down in America. Got 3 to 4 options on that. I do predict a possible mass exodus because what y'all think is going to happen ain't never happening in your lifetime. But you could change your children's future by changing Black American culture. A lot of it today in 2025. A lot of things that Black people need to do that would help fix Black people. Has nothing to do with any other race at large. Okay, I've already been talking a while. That's a whole different video. So, Assata Shakur has passed away. She was in her 70s and she passed away in Cuba. All right. A hero to many Black people, and to some Black people, a disgrace to some Black people. You saw the video, but It is what it is. She passed away. She was an example to a number of people of activism, using your voice. Now, I don't support, look, I don't know if all those things she was really involved with burglaries and murders of cops and all this other stuff. As you, like I read, someone said it was exaggerated and all this other stuff, and that they just wanted to get her because she was young, pretty, and educated. And I definitely believe multiple things can be true, you know. I definitely do. You do have some people who feel threatened when black people want to get together to start something without harming anyone, just to build up black people to be better in America and build the race up. So she passed away. What do you think about the woman? The video I showed where she said, you heard what she said. I might have to play it again real quick. Let me play it again real quick, what she said.
I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm not too broken up about Assata Shakur's passing because, A, I find it very ironic. You pick an African name, you flee to a Latino country for asylum, but what the hell did you actually do for us? Assata Shakur was for self, much like a lot of those Black Panthers. That's why they were dismantled. You use the struggling and suffering of blacks to further your own movement. And before you get all pissed off, let me explain something to you. A lot of y'all that are black in this country, the Black Panthers, as radical and loud as y'all are, baby, you would not have been accepted. The Black Panther Party did not like anybody who was LGBTQ. They didn't care for anybody who was of a different background. Like, if you were not strictly Black American, they didn't give a fuck about you. So, like I said, and then she killed a police officer, and the movement she was, what was it called? The Black Liberation Army or whatever the fuck, broke in prison, took some people hostage, and, you know, broke her out. She left in a van and all that shit, whatever. And then she fled to Cuba. But Fidel Castro granted her political asylum. And that's what I want to bring to attention. Now, you don't advocate for anybody black outside America, you know, but the Latino countries are the only place you can go for asylum. You didn't go nowhere that was primarily black. You didn't go to Jamaica. You didn't go to, you didn't go to Africa. Why the hell did you pick Cuba? Because you know if you can't go nowhere else on this earth, Latinos will protect you. So at the end of the day, it's sad she passed, but it don't affect me in no way, shape, or form. And I don't give a fuck what you have to say. Again, just because I'm black, nah. Black Panther Party really didn't do shit for us either besides give underprivileged blacks the WIC program, and that's it.
So that is it for this video. Again, if you want a good wine, I know you might need a drink after all what I just showed, check out www.boydcrewwines.com. Very affordable, delicious wines. Okay, so please get those likes up. I cannot wait to hear your comments about this. I know some of them probably gonna be off the chain. And what do you think? Were you a supporter of the Black Panther parties? Do you feel Assata Shakur was important to Black America and the whole entire world? Or do you feel like her? Oh, all she did was talk. She ain't even do nothing for black people, is what she's saying. And the party was trash. And they was crackheads and effing up the black race, selling drugs to black people. So what do you think about what she said? Let us know in the comments section, baby. Like, share, and subscribe. All right, you all take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll be talking to you again very soon. Bye, everybody.